Call the rec meeting to order. First thing, is pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. First, I'm going to introduce the new board members. We have 4 new board members. Carol agreed to continue. Tina is continue, and, well, not new board members, new to you, because you haven't made it to an meeting yet, but, and Jamie's continuing myself. So, if anyone's watching this and wants to get involved with the rec, please come to some meetings, take a look. We really need more people to help us. Even not necessarily be on the board, but just through the sports seasons. So if anyone's watching this and has any interest, please contact one of the board members or Jen Rue at the town hall. Members present are Carol, myself, and Jamie. Tina may be coming in. If she does, hopefully she'll just come sit, and if not, we'll see her at the next meeting. Old business, baseball season wrap up, the end of the season. I think it went great. I think a lot of the parents were happy.
We had a nice turnout.
We had a really nice turnout. We do have, I think, 4 people that still have uniforms that need to get in. So if we have been in contact with you and you have uniforms, please get them to us so we can get those put away and get our soccer uniforms out. You have anything else to add for?
Just that, speaking with Jennifer Rue when I got sworn in, and I was telling her a little bit of my frustrations about getting the uniforms, she said that she would take that upon herself too. So if we have some that don't come, and that's in the future, I guess it is town property. So she said that she would make phone calls for us too if we need that. Okay, so
Great.
Hopefully it doesn't come to that.
And the last 2 that I had, I talked to today, and asked if they would bring them up tonight, if not tomorrow. So hopefully we get them by tomorrow. In the next
So
day.
is there anything that we see with baseball that we should do differently for next year? Did you have a child in the baseball? No, they didn't play baseball. Do you, because I never, I wasn't there all the time, but I was there for the gathering, and
I think baseball's gonna be one of the tricky ones, where there is Little League in Sanford and different towns that a lot of kids go to. I know in the past we did some games with some of the other towns, but they said they wouldn't continue to do that unless we were sanctioned, Little League sanctioned, which the board was starting to go that way, and then everyone on the board left, so it's a possibility to get Little League sanctioned. It's a lot of work. If someone wants to take that on, look into it, I mean, be my guest.
but we had, what was our total, 56?
No, we had 58, and then 2 didn't end up playing because of conflicts, because they just couldn't get
56.
there for, actually 56, and then we had 2 that didn't come, so 54. Yeah, so it just really wasn't enough to have whole teams. Ideally, it'd be great to have 2 teams for each sport, for each grade level, so we can play against each other. If we can't get other towns to play, so, I mean, we might find in the future that baseball is just not a sport that the rec wants to offer. We could do skills and drills. That's what Chapley's doing now, is for soccer and for baseball. They're doing skills and drills, and because a lot of kids are going to different towns for those because they're big organizations. I tried to talk to them about getting on board with us and doing, a team each and combining, and as of right now, they weren't interested in doing that. Maybe it's something we can bring up in the future again.
With Shapley? Mm-hmm. Okay.
But they were really happy with their first skills and drills session, and they just, you know, I was hoping even if it wasn't baseball with soccer, that they would do it, and at this point, they're not willing to. But, I mean, I'm sure I think they're open to communication for things in the future. They have a brand-new rec board also, all new people, so, you know, they're coming up with their own ideas, but it would be great. We had one family that came from Shapley, and their kids played, and, I mean, they seemed happy with it.
Did you see, like, so, since I don't have children in sports here, even here, was 54 participants kind of what you had the year before?
The year before, we didn't play. The year before that, I don't know what we had. I don't know.
You weren't on the board. Yeah, it would be interesting to see what happened with those numbers.
They weren't huge.
That's right, the year before was.
Yeah, it still wasn't a huge turnout. Soccer and basketball are usually
More
the
turnout.
bigger turnouts, so hopefully.
Okay.
And the numbers have gone down in the schools, so that makes a difference. You know, when my older kids were in school, there were, you know, 30 to 35 kids in each grade. There were 2 classes per grade. You know, Katrina's class, there's, I think, 24 kids now. So, and some of the classes are a little bit bigger and some are smaller, so that, you know, has an effect, unfortunately, on the rec also.
Okay.
But, I mean, you know, that's something up to the board. Once we do soccer and basketball and, you know, see what the turnout is for that, and maybe we do a questionnaire at that point. You know, it would be great to get someone on the board that is good with good computer skills, because I'm not the best with that. Carol and I are like past that age of computers, so, you know, something that people could put questionnaires out or fillers out on, you know, the What's Up in Acton, the Acton Rec page. There's still a lot of people that don't even know about the Acton Rec page, so, I think more advertising and, you know, same thing with baseball and unfortunately soccer, you know, those forms weren't ready to send them out at the end of the year for soccer for, this coming season. And, you know, that makes a difference, because once those kids get those forms in their hand, I think it makes a huge difference than a parent that just, you know, comes up to the town hall and says, oh, you know, oh, let's sign them up for soccer, because they saw them, they saw the sign-up sheets there. So with us just being so new and not having forms readily available for us and waiting on different people to do the forms and whatnot, you know, I'm hoping that we can get more efficient with that and be able to have things ready to go out quicker in the future for different sports. Because, I mean, truly, like, basketball, if we're gonna do basketball, those forms should be going to the kids, like, at the end of soccer. So, you know, they're happy, they're ready to go, and, oh yeah, we'll sign them up for basketball. So, I think
And
it's
maybe
just
we'll
with
learn
all of us.
Google Docs and we can get that
Yeah,
done.
I mean, a brand-new board, it's just been, I think we've, you know, for what we've done, I think we've accomplished at least having a season, not even knowing we were having a season, not knowing until 2 weeks before we even put the forms out, that we could have a season because of COVID and the town, so, you know, I think baby steps and we'll get there.
Okay,
So,
good.
anyone else have anything to offer? Mike, you have?
Just here to listen.
Okay. So, I mean, I think it's a work in progress, but without that help from people, you know, I can't do it on my own. You know, we need more people involved. Even if it's the smallest thing of families to get involved, you know, that one small thing takes it off the shoulders of the board, you know, and, you know, I think we can get there with that also, but I'm gonna stop babbling. Any other things you know? Okay. So vandalism, there has been quite a bit of vandalism up at the rec field. We have ordered cameras. We're gonna have cameras put up. There's gonna be signs that say that it's being surveillanced. And the selectmen have decided to put locks on the gate. In the past, they had locks on the gate. It's not ideal because, people can't just drive in there and use it, and it is town property, so people feel that they should be able to go in there and use it. But right now, no one knows what to do to stop it. I don't think it's gonna stop it completely, but, the last thing I wanna see is the parking lot that we just paid over $6,000 to have fixed, destroyed over it. So hopefully the cameras and the locks, will help. I just purchased locks today. They're gonna be a combination lock. It's a key and a combination. Only a few people will have, the key to it. The combination will be given out to the coaches. I think each of the board members should have the combination, and then whoever else the town hall, decides should have it. I know I had 5 keys made, so that we'll have 1 or 2 copies for us, and then, the maintenance people, the porta potty place. And then the key's really cool. You can change the combinations. I had no idea you could do that. So like after each season, we can change the combination and start over. Because the biggest thing is the town does not want, the fire chief does not want people parking on 109 for hazards. We had one sports soccer season that we played against Wakefield, and it was crazy. And the fire chief just happened to drive by for some reason, and he's like, that can never happen again, because he's afraid that the kid's gonna get hit or whatnot. So like I said, it's not ideal, but we're gonna try this, and, we'll revisit it and with the selectmen and go from there and see what, I hope at some point we can unlock it, and get to the bottom of whoever is doing the vandalism. They still, we don't know if someone's living out in the woods, if it's just, kids, what it is, but, hopefully this will help. So, anyone questions on that? Bathrooms and septic, Tina was looking into that, so we're gonna have to table that till next week unless she comes and, we can put it at the end. Facebook, that was with the small board. Carol's not interested in covering Facebook. We're looking for someone that is willing to like upload the forums when it's, the next season to, just put updates on,
Pictures maybe.
pictures or anything, just update in Facebook as it goes. Everyone that's on the board is on the Facebook account as a user, but, it would really be nice to get someone that can,
So how do you feel about that, Jamie?
no, she already told me no, but.
I don't mind doing it, it's just the fact of like, I just need to know like what to communicate, you know what I mean? I'm still very new to this.
So we should help you with that.
I mean, I know
Yes.
all day long, what to put on PTG's Facebook, but like, I
Right.
don't have a clue, or pictures, or, like,
Well, we could, somebody did take pictures.
Yeah, we put some
Gathering.
pictures up. It's more, anyone can go in and put pictures up at any time that's on the board. It's more
The forms.
and whatnot. So
Sign-up days.
Emily, started the Google Docs program. And she's trying to make it so each of the forms, well, she started to, and now she's not continuing on the board. Are you any good with Google Docs?
that's what we
On
use for
Facebook
PTG.
I'm not a computer person, like, we don't know how to do a PDF to send to people, it's that bad.
We use Google Docs for PTG, so yes, I do know how to use.
Or would you be willing to teach us?
Yeah, I can do both.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that portion of it.
So, it's a work in progress, no one's expecting you to like know everything, right up front. It's more someone that, when we say it's soccer season, and you know automatically that you're gonna go in and you're gonna change the dates for soccer after we had our meeting, and you're gonna say, send an email to whoever the chair is and say, okay, these are all done, and that chair person just has to send it to Jen. Instead of like the chairperson, tracking someone down to say, okay, the forms need to be done, when are the forms gonna be done, and this, and that. We need someone that just, we know automatically throughout the year that that's gonna be their job, that they can,
And if Jamie teaches us,
and if she teaches us, yeah.
we can, if she says, I can't do this
Yeah, she
soccer once,
can.
then somebody else can do it once we know how to
Right.
do it. I don't have a clue.
Yeah, I mean.
You don't either.
Well,
and I think-
Tina probably doesn't.
I think just a short page like this of just simple steps to,
Yep. Perfect.
like, to put on the drive would be, with
Yeah.
your forms that you can change would be helpful too. You're always gonna have incoming board members.
Yes.
Or,
That would be great.
Exactly, so yes, we.
Yeah.
We need to get, I'm old.
That would be great though, if we could learn how to do that, and if you do the Facebook thing, that would be wonderful.
Yeah,
The Google Docs.
I finally took a picture and downloaded the picture onto there, because for some reason in the past, I've figured out how to do the PDF and transfer it over, but for some reason, I can transfer a PDF to my Facebook account, but I can't transfer it to the rec Facebook account. So it's things like that, I'm like spending a couple of hours trying to figure it out and like getting frustrated, and then it's like, they say, it'd be nice if the young people could just like take it over and do it in 2 minutes and it's done, So, or teach us how to do it much, more proficiently, so, it's another work in progress, but that's where we would like to get. There is a Google Docs program that she started that has the soccer form, so we should be able to just go in and change the dates on it. She did, update a few things.
Do you know what the,
We can send you the link for that.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
she may have to give me
Add you,
access to use
yeah,
it, yes,
yeah.
to edit.
You might have been put on there.
But there's edit preferences, so she may have to give me permission to edit. I may be able to view. but
Yeah,
not
and
edit.
she's fine, she even said she would sit down with us, she just couldn't come tonight to this meeting, and, because she was gonna teach us how to do it, so, and that doesn't, well, I don't know if that has to be a meeting or not, but that's could be just a workshop of,
Yeah, I don't,
helping us out on that stuff, or like you
that
said,
doesn't
writing
need
it
to
down.
happen. I know how to use it pretty well.
Awesome.
Yeah, we're
All
good.
right, then we'll tap you.
Yay. So, and the Facebook, like I said, it would be just, and anyone can go in there, if it's a rain date, and I put in that there's a rain date, but it would be more like someone that knows, ongoing, okay, soccer season's coming up, so put a shout out to everyone saying soccer season's starting, get your forms in, or you can get your forms at the town hall, whatever, So it's not really maintaining a lot, it's just like before the sports and before the Christmas tree lighting and whatnot, just
Okay.
getting that on there, so it's,
Thank you.
Yeah,
yay.
you're very welcome.
And I'll get you it, I
Don't
think
ask
I
me
had
to
you.
coach anything, Lori. I'll do the Facebook. We don't ask me to coach
That's
anything.
fine, that's fine. And Emily was going to be the flag
No,
person,
I'm
so.
wondering about that flag though. I don't think we should put it up until we know the vandalism's over.
Right.
Because they stole the first
It's not
one.
in anyways.
Good, so we can just put that on hold.
We'll put
too.
that on
It's
hold.
like an American flag?
Yeah, we had an
Yeah,
American
okay.
flag, that was the first thing that was stolen. Yeah.
We should probably wait on that.
Yeah, they stole the American flag, they ripped the sanitizer off of the porta potty and stole that, and they stole the toilet paper. And then they, 2 weeks later, stole the toilet paper and the toilet paper dispenser, and then covered the whole side of the porta potty with mud and had big tracks from the parking lot that we had just fixed. And then Mike showed up at practice, and the parking lot had wood and all kinds of debris and trash out of it.
Jeez.
So we got to pick all that up, and I don't know if there's one more other, a couple of other things, but I don't really want to mention that on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the lock situation. It's
So-
just- sometimes it just needs to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's just tough because every time I go up there's someone there playing basketball, or,
Yeah.
we kept the porta potty this summer, we had the extra money in the budget because of COVID, and, we're like, let's keep it for the summer so people can go up and use it with their families and have a bathroom. And the lady from the porta potty place doesn't want to keep it there any longer. So she was ready to give us our money back, and she said, well, if you get cameras and stuff, we'll give it another try, but if something else happens, they want to pull it. She actually pulled it, before the last, game in our last outing, and she had to bring it back that following Friday. I'm like, no, we need it. So,
And a sign also saying this facility.
yes, yeah. Jen has ordered those, so I think by law you have to have it. I didn't want
It's
to
being recorded, I
because.
think you do, yeah, in a public area.
Yeah, so,
You know, if you did lock it, that the lock wasn't further back, so maybe there could be a couple cars parked there, but it had a little walking area instead of being able to drive in. You know, like a lot of those places in Sanford, you can't drive in them.
but you can walk
Right, but
in.
you can walk.
Yeah, well, you can walk around the gate. There is enough space for a couple of cars. So I had brought it up to Jen last week, I said, and that's where the padlock, the combination lock came into play. We have a homeschool group that wanted to use the field like every Friday. And I said, you know, if there's 10 of them, you know, what do? There's not enough space for them to park, and, Jen, you know, I said, can we have some extra keys here that she can come sign out, you know, they can come sign out and then bring them back? And that's when they came up with the padlock. So it's not completely critiqued as to what's gonna happen, but like bigger groups of people maybe can have the padlock, the combination, and if, you know, if you were to go up there with people and it wasn't last minute and you called the town hall, maybe, you know, the town hall, would be able to give them the combination, or one of us could give someone a combination so they could go and use it and whatnot. We don't want to keep the town of Acton, I mean, they're paying a good amount of money for the Acton Rec field. We don't want to keep people out from using it.
Well, then maybe it just becomes a situation where you have like timing, where like the library, it's open from 10 to 2 on Tuesdays, or it's
Yeah,
open-
you
you have
wanna
to have
go-
someone to lock it. I do understand that.
I
That's
said
the
to Jen,
problem.
I said, I
Yeah.
am not policing the law.
I won't put police
Yeah.
in the lock anyway, it was just an idea.
Yeah, I know, but that was
Or somebody
just it. When I got on the rec board, we had the chair, we had the rec director, and the rec director went up and locked it and unlocked it after every practice, and, I mean, or we locked it ourselves after practices, but the rec director would go up there and lock it, and I'm like, no way, you know, I mean,
It's dedication.
that's a full-time job, you know, I
full-time
mean, that
job.
is someone that is paid a lot more than volunteer time, so, you know, we just gotta figure out a way, and I think the combination thing will work, we just have to tweak it with the town hall and, the selectmen and Jen, and I think we'll get there, and hopefully, you know, down the line, it'll change, once someone sees that, you know, that we're not gonna put up with it, then, you know, if they're gonna continue with the porta potty company's not gonna let us
Yeah.
use it, so.
Well, like you said, I mean, at the end of the day, it's town property, so there's repercussions for that, you know,
Exactly.
unfortunately.
Okay, so, new business, tree removal.
So the tree removal we're talking about is a tree removal that is on the other side of the field where they were going to put the second parking lot,
Yeah,
correct?
so we put $5,000 into the budget for tree removal. I have an email into Jen in regards to this. Our policy, or the town's policy, is it needs to go out to bid anywhere $1,000 to $3,000. Is that what it is? Anything over 5,000, I don't remember the policy now. Let's purchase a policy. I've got the policy someplace and I should have looked it up. But the policy is there has to be 3 bids if it's between X amount and X amount. It's like 1,000, either 1,000 to 3,000 or 3,000 to 5,000, I can't remember. And 5,000 over, if you got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's right there, it says 5,000.
Okay, 5,000 shall be awarded by sealed bid, over 5,000, no less than 3 competitive bids. So we have up to 5,000, so we are trying to get a bid for up to $5,000 to remove the trees on the backside of, the rec field. I don't know if there is another gate and another opening that used to be open, that they could use as extra parking and whatnot, and there's a retention pond way back in the back corner of the field. So, we put $5,000 in our budget in order to remove, the trees. Hopefully, I don't know where that price came about, that was in the budget
Maybe we should make
pre-COVID.
it 49.9.
Right, it's up to 5, yeah, 49,999. Right, so we need someone to look into bids for tree removal. So I just didn't know if we have the whole, this year in the spring in order to do it. It's in our budget for up
And
till,
would that be something that we wouldn't use the person who did the parking lot for us to do? Or would they be able to do, could that be one bid, or no, they have to be tree company
Will
bid?
Langley is the one that did the parking lot. So the board finally, the Board of Selectmen ended up, when we had asked to use that extra money for the parking lot, we had X amount of dollars budgeted in for the parking lot, and it wasn't enough to get it done right. So we had extra money because of COVID, so we went to the board, asked them if we could use some of that money to finish the parking lot, and get it done right. And at that point, Will Langley had started the job a couple of years ago, was pretty much promised the job from previous board members, and, I felt it right that he got the job, no matter what.
For the parking lot?
Even though it wasn't going against the bids, getting other bids in. So the short of it is that Will Langley is now our go-to person. The road commissioner on this side of the town, whoever it is the go-to person for any maintenance. We don't have to get a bid for things like the parking lot. I don't know what else would be covered under it. Maybe digging ditches for water, if we were to put that in. I don't know if that's what he does. Anything that he can do, it would be contracted, the town's rate, and he would be our person. We don't have to go out for bid on those. Tree removal, he doesn't do tree removal, so
Okay, that's what I
that
was
is
getting
not.
at.
We have an electrician, a town electrician that we can use, that we don't need.
But he would not be, so we have to find 3 other people.
Yes.
If it's up to $5,000, we still have to get the 3 sealed bids? Or could?
Not sealed bids. 5,000 and over are sealed bids. Up to 5,000 is regular bids, so they're just written bids or, so I've got an email out to Jen to get clarification as to how to do those bids, because I've never done anything to do with that, and so I'm just waiting on her, but it was more put on here to see if there was anyone that was interested in going out and looking to see about getting some bids on the tree removal.
Should we wait and see what it entails from Jen first and then?
I think we could, start making some calls or start getting some people, if
Do you
it's
know
someone
any
who's willing.
insured tree-
I don't know.
Tree companies locally? I mean, it'd be great to use a local
Yeah.
company, like as local as possible.
So we had someone that did,
A lot
Yeah,
of tree removal on the lakes that got,
yeah, it was, Abbott was our go-to guy, but he has since retired, and that is another question with the town hall, is whether he is our go-to person or not, because someone else bought it. This last thing that we did, we had some diseased trees taken down,
Is he
on
in
last
town?
year's budget. So I'm not sure if this is definitely going to have to go out to bid or not. I believe I was told it has to go out to bid. So maybe we should just table it to the next meeting. Why don't we just table it?
and get the more particulars on it and then.
And then, yeah,
I mean, if anybody sees any tree companies, we could run them down so we have.
yeah. If anyone knows of any tree
Figure it
companies,
out.
maybe keep it in mind and bring it to the next meeting,
Right.
and then,
White's tree removal,
what, I do see that, White's tree,
do they?
Joplin,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I used to work for that family.
Jake Liston does it.
But it's the other side of the field, it's small trees, it's just all just grown back up after years of not use.
Commercial company.
It has to have $1 million, it has to be, yeah, they have to have $1 million policy, and
Looking
they,
for them to pull stumps too?
you know what, I don't know how far we can go. I guess it
Okay.
depends on whoever brought this to the board originally, that was the amount that they came up with, so I don't know if they got prices back then, but we did the budget with myself, Carol, and two other brand-new board members. It was our second meeting, and we did the budget. It was interesting. So we kinda, you know, I would have liked to go into the budget season with a little bit more knowledge on different things, but, I mean, I think we did the best that we could with what we had, and, I think we get whatever we can get done with the $5,000, whether it's tree, stumps. I don't know if the stumps have to be removed, if they have to be, I don't know anything about that stuff, so.
If you have your friend, if he's bonded or something, maybe you can get us his name too.
Yeah.
Right.
He has to, and then they have to put in, I don't know if it's a 1099 or whatever through the, town for, tax reasons. So they need that. Anyone that we, hire and we pay has to have a $1 million, insurance policy, and then they have to put in 1099 or, what is it, a 1099 or a
It is, yeah.
W-9?
1099.
Okay, so, all right. So we'll just table it to the next one, but if you have any, people that you know of, you know, bring that forth. Cheer camp, so last meeting, Jenny Norwood had approached us and she wanted to do a, like, 1 week or 2 week cheer camp this summer. The board agreed to it. I've called and left her messages and I haven't heard from her. So, do we want to just scratch that? Or if she approaches us and she can still do it?
Right, I would say if she approaches us, she can still do it, right?
It's up to the
Why not?
board.
I think a cheer camp would be great.
Okay, so if she approaches us and we can get it done by the end of the
I think
season.
there would be a lot of interest from
Yeah.
your younger girls in the community, for sure.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So we'll wait on hearing from
We'll
them.
wait on hearing from her. Swim lessons, Carol, you're up.
Swim lessons, well, the forms did not come today, like they said they would. I met with them last week, and it is a go.
You want to give Jamie a little background on?
Okay, so we, that's why I'm on the board, because I really wanted swim lessons. So, we decided to go with the Y, which was the cheapest, and so the YMCA, how it's going to work is, if you want your child to do swim, and it's from 6 months up, that you get the forms from, we'll have forms from the YMCA that they will get to us, and pick them up at the town hall or wherever we decide, and then you would sign up for whatever day you wanted and get into the class, and it would cost you as a parent or whoever wants to go, it's $35 to the family per participant, and the town is going to pay $40 per person, so it's costing us $75 to get them one session of swim lessons. We have 62 and a half spots open from the $2,500 that was approved at the town meeting. So it's first come, first serve, and it will run through the year, so until the money's used. We can do the swim lessons. They will get me the forms Monday. We have a few hours left, but I expect to get them this week sometime. And then Jen will put it on the sign, we'll put the forms up here, and hopefully we can get it on Facebook and at the rec thing, and kind of, it'll start, I do have that, it will start, where is it? August 31st is the first session, so August 31st to October 8th.
Are they 8-week sessions or 6 weeks, do you know?
Probably 6 weeks. So once a week. Registration at the Y will begin August 9th, so we really need to get these forms so we can start doing that. But if we don't have anybody who wants to do it August 31st, they certainly can do it the next session, which is October 18th. And then after that, they just have to go to the YMCA website to check
They
that out.
happen to say how many kids were in each class?
No, and the way they do it, which is kind of interesting, except for 6 months to 3 years. 6 months to 3 years, a parent has to be in the water with their child. After that, you sign up for the date, you go into the pool, and there's a little, somebody monitors how well you swim, and they decide what class you go into.
Okay.
So it's done that way. So she said, no, I mean, so I'm sure there's a certain amount they'll allow on that day. That's why we have to get this out, but that's how it's gonna work.
Nice.
So, do you have any questions for me or anything, or?
Not yet, no.
So they must have like little mini groups in the water at the same
Correct.
time, so that's a
That's
little
what
bit
they
different
do,
than it
yeah.
was years ago. Okay,
So
cool.
it's different things in the pool.
Yep.
And then I think that once you're in the system, so if you did the one, then they'd know where you'd go the next time and you wouldn't have to do that. But that's how they really said to do it, is by the time. So
That's great.
hopefully I'll hear from them.
I feel like that's a really good, like, late fall, winter, early spring, you
Right.
know, when you wanna be in a warm pool.
Right.
And just
And
for the
not
kids to
really
give them something to do,
do.
cause you can't really, you know, we can only go outside so much during
Correct.
those months, so, yeah, that's great.
So hopefully it will work. And they did feel that we would be able to do that in years to come as well. So it's not just because of the problem we had, it's not just the 1 year. They think that they'll be able to keep going.
Oh, good, okay.
So that's because it was kind of,
Yeah.
anyway.
There's a little bit of confusion going on there. Yeah. And another option for down the line, one of the things that we were looking at was to try to hire someone or a couple of lifeguards and find a place to do it, like in the summertime. She had looked into Camp Nutter.
Camp Nutter would always be $3 a person to go there.
And then it's very expensive for the lifeguards,
And the swim
and the
instructor.
insurance and all that stuff, so if
And you
anyone
know-
knows anyone down the line that is a lifeguard or, swim instructor, that, you know, I would still love to see a group for Acton alone, like even if it was, you know, a couple of weeks in the summertime,
We really have to put a questionnaire out for that because a lot of
Yeah.
parents work. And whether they could get to the.
if you did it at night though, I mean, like,
Yeah,
5,
if you
6
could go.
o'clock, I mean, you know, Camp Nutter might be being sold, but, something that would be more of a recreation thing instead of as much of a commitment. I would like to see it at some point, but
Small steps.
yes, we got this far, so we're happy with this, but, yes. Anything else?
That's great.
That's it?
Any questions? All right.
Eventually, can I get copies of like this and anything else? That
Yeah,
might be,
sure.
like,
There might be some more in the rec.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, don't
And
say
it would
that,
be
that's
great to, I don't know if you, so on like Google Docs, can you put like all these type of things?
Yeah, anything that you need like scanned and put on there for future reference, we can do that. So as long as I have copies of it, I can put it on the drive.
Awesome.
And that way, instead of having to hand out forms, you can direct people, new board members to the drive and they can
That would be great.
read bylaws and policies and whatever else that they need to upon
We don't
appointment.
have any bylaws.
Yeah.
That's
Small
something that
steps,
they start, yeah, they started writing. And so, yes, as, apparently there were bylaws years and years ago, but no one can seem to find those, but, yeah, even the town, I mean, it would be so great to have something, even if we weren't on the board, that we can pass it on to the next person, because it's tough coming on a board and not have any information, or have to, you know, rely on one person to go back and look at emails just to try to get, you know, rec forms, and not knowing what they want on them, it's just, it's a lot. So, I would love to, even if that's my legacy, to pass that on to the next person. So, anyways, all right, soccer season. As I was saying earlier, Amanda put a text out to the parents at the town of Acton tonight, and she did, her forms had said deadline was August 1st, and first practice was August 16th. We can do August 16th if we get enough forms back, but I think it's gonna end up being the 23rd. Our original was the 16th for starting practice, but with vacations and everything else, we decided as the board, we were gonna push it up to the 23rd, and apparently I sent the wrong form to
So
Amanda,
if we do that, and we already have August 16th there, would we want to make our parent night
We do.
August? What night,
Well-
what day is August 16th?
It's a Monday, I believe.
Oh, that's our next meeting, but we could go at the field instead, or we could have parents.
Yeah, we could do, I mean, it depended on, let me see. 16 July.
So, were you? at
Yes, it's a
baseball
Monday.
When we had, So we had a parent night, and what we did was we had cleaned up the field, so I was like thrilled at how many people came out. They had rakes and shovels and brooms, and the field got cleaned up, and the dugouts got cleaned up, and there were parents and kids, the kids were all having fun. And then Lori went over some things about, we didn't hand out uniforms there.
No, we didn't hand out
And we did,
uniforms.
she went over some things about, talked to them about, the baseball season, and it was just really kind of neat to clean up the field, because
Yeah, that needed to
that
be
needed to
done.
be done, and why not have everybody do that? So we were thinking of possibly doing the same thing for the soccer season, having another parent night, and then maybe we could tell them when they could get the uniforms and that, how that's gonna work, and have them, I don't know what the soccer field looks like compared to the baseball.
Soccer
but-
field looks really good right now.
But we could look at, but then-
Our maintenance person has done a great job trying to get the patches of grass, fixed. It was pretty bad and it looks pretty good right now. I mean, it's not great, but there are a lot of wet spots out in that field. At some point, I'd love to see put more money in the budget to be able to hire that field or do whatever you need to do to,
Do we need to rake it or anything, or no?
I don't think so. I don't think.
So with the field.
There's no, I mean, that's what our maintenance person that we pay every year does. He does, little debris pickup and that type of stuff and mows the lawn and whatnot. But, the biggest thing is gonna be to get someone to do the lines and someone that knows what they're doing to, do the lines. Not last year, the year before, I think it was like every other game or every third game, someone went out and, freshened up the lines, but, I think it was my husband and a couple of other people went out and staked, for the distances and all that stuff. I don't know anything about that.
Neither do I.
We really would love to see if we could get a parent or a couple of parent volunteers that we could hand that off on, that can
So we
do
were
it.
thinking we could do that at volunteer night, and possibly when they had to be relined, maybe making each team responsible for the lining. So if we had six Saturdays, I don't know how many Saturdays we have, but if we had 6 Saturdays and they don't have to be lined every week, you're saying?
I don't think so, I mean, if
But
we had
maybe-
heavy rains, I think, because it's just that chalk paint.
But maybe we
stuff.
could make like, if we had 6 teams, then each team would be responsible for one Saturday, and it could be up to them whether they get relined or not, and put it on the teams rather than the 4 of us.
I
Because
mean, I don't know how
I
else
have
to
no
do it.
interest in lining the fields.
I can't do it.
You know,
You
so
don't like volunteers.
we need to find volunteers who could do that, and I don't think it's fair for one person to have to do every week. But if we got one team per week that had to do it, and somebody would, if we had them staked out, somebody would be able to do it. They would
The
just do
only
it.
problem is we would have to kind of put it onto the coaches in order to do that, because if it doesn't get done, you have no idea, how do you play a game? Because baseball,
But I
it didn't
think-
get done after the first one, and you can still run from first base to second base, you know how to get there, but if the field's not lined, then there's nothing there to,
Right, so, but the coaches, I think, put in their time also,
Yeah.
so we've got to find
Or put-
volunteers, whether we do that at parent night, and say, okay, we have the 4 weeks, can you do it this week, and we get 6
I don't
weeks.
mean put it on the coaches to do, I mean, put it on the coaches to try to get someone on their team to volunteer. I don't know, I mean,
I don't know,
that's
something,
just, I don't know.
I don't have
Any
to
other
do that.
thoughts? Anyone?
No, I have no thoughts on that. I'm sorry.
It's a lot.
I don't know any soccer players or people that enjoy playing soccer. I don't know anyone that would know how to write,
Yeah.
how to do lines. Well,
I
maybe
mean, we
one,
could-
maybe one, but
The guy who
He's not
does,
looking at us right now.
the guy who does the field, does he know the man who does the maintenance on the
No,
field?
he doesn't do any of that type of stuff. Nope. No,
So there's no post or anything where the
no,
field was at one time?
no,
Well, that's kind of silly.
I know.
Would there be any money in the budget to hire a contract out to do it?
No, not this year's budget, no way.
$200 for the season or something like that?
No, where our budget is tight. We've already forgot tons of stuff that we should have had in the budget that just doing baseball, that we realized that, oh, we probably should have put this in, and we should put that in, and at the last minute, I was trying to get a bunch of things ordered with this year's budget, but, yeah, there's really nothing extra. Maybe next year for the budget, we could do something like that.
I think
is
that
there?
those things are not, that's not much to worry about, like someone to paint lines. Once the Facebook page is like actually, you know, being super active, like that's where you're going to get people that are going to be like, you put it out, you put feelers out. Are there any local parents that, you know how to or would be willing to, and then see where we go from there. So
Okay.
I think those are the
That'd be
things
great.
that you use social media for, 100%.
Good.
Okay,
Yeah, we just
so
have
you
to
can
get
do
it to
that?
go on the
You
site.
could even do
Yeah.
it, so like if you have a child that's playing the sport, okay, if this parent, you know, is able to help out doing the lines or help
Right.
out doing this, the child can play for free. Do that? I mean,
Yeah, no.
Because that's what they did in Sanford.
So, on the budget, we have X amount of money that the town has given us, and we have X amount of money that we have to raise. And the revenues that we have to raise are in our budget to coincide with the money that the town gave us. So we are, the board members, and any of the coaches, children and assistant coaches, children can play for free. But once you start putting it out there, maybe it's something to look at for the future, but this year, same thing with,
Does the high school kids in Sanford, do they have to do community
They
service?
do.
yes. Yep,
So
well,
I
that's
wonder-
how we got one of the girls that did the concession stand.
Right. Do
She
we
did
have any?
10 hours
does she
of
have any
community
brothers?
service.
I wonder if there's any, in that Facebook page, I don't know kids, but I wonder if there's somebody who needs it who could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's community service boards at the high school too, that as long
There
as we
is?
had a flyer, we could put it on there.
Okay. See, those are the things that we don't know. So,
Would we need a flyer, or could you just call them up and ask them to put it on their community service board, that the town of Acton needs somebody to paint their lines every
I
Saturday?
mean, I can whip up a quick flyer, that's just something that they can print and put on their community board.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
even for
just,
concession, even for assistant coaches, we couldn't have, a under 18-year-old be in, and I need to check in with, we have had under 18-year-olds as assistant coaches, in the past. With the new background check policy, I don't think they can do a background check on an under 18-year-old.
they can't.
So I would have to check with Jen as to whether we can put out there to be assistant coaches also.
Maybe they could be
As
linesmen. Do you have anybody who
volunteers.
holds a flag to tell them the ball went out, bounce?
Well, referees.
Right, referees.
Yeah, maybe put a flyer out that we're looking for volunteers for refs.
And a lineman, and somebody.
I can send a message to Jen tomorrow, and maybe I'll get it back in a couple of days about, assistant coaches. Concession, I think we have one girl that's doing it. Maybe concession, line,
No, not concession.
not concession?
No, because we have the young boy who wants to help.
Oh, we have another boy?
Yes.
Okay.
My son wants to help. And we
Oh, he's
told
too
him
young. He can't.
He can't help
Yeah,
him?
no, junior high and up. High school, they need to be high school age, community service, the young kids know. And that, if someone's in concession and working the concession stand and there is a child that's under 18 years old, it's up to the person that's in the stand at the time that has been bonded, whether they want that child to touch the money or not. If not, then they're responsible for the money. So anyone that runs a concession stand, if there's someone under 18 and it's supposed to be for community service hours, then they would be the responsible person for that person. So if they don't want someone under 18
So
doing
maybe
that
we
at the
could just
time.
say referees and people to do the lines and possible other,
Yeah,
instead of
and we
saying,
could always get a list of maybe a list of kids
live in Acton.
that we could call and say, hey, do you want,
Or have them call us.
Yeah, something, yeah. Well,
Because they
if
could
we
get
had
in
a
touch with
list
us
that
at
we
the Facebook
needed,
Page, right? Kids, yeah.
you know, if there was a list, maybe a few kids that wanted to give out their names, that we could call them at the last minute and say, hey, can you ref, or, you know, that we could use, like, as a backup, you know, so. All right, so you work on that, I'll let you know, oh, I don't need to let you know about the concession then. Signups, coaches, I have a couple of people that are interested in coaches, but we definitely are gonna need more coaches. So if everyone could just like put the word out, or maybe put that, have that on the,
Were there any forms in our box scores?
yeah, I haven't looked at them yet, though. I have them.
Did it feel like a bunch of them, or?
No.
Well, coaches isn't something that you're gonna put flyers out for communities, for the,
No,
because
no.
they have to be 18.
Yeah, maybe assistant
And
coach,
hopefully
if
a
Jen says
parent.
assistant coach could do it, but,
That would be different, like a parent, child, coach, assistant coach, like a parent with a 17-year-old or something,
Probably would be a lot different.
You know, that
right.
would, yeah.
that's what we had in the past, was one child that their father coached, and she was the assistant
Yeah,
coach, and she
yeah.
was amazing. I mean, but it's always, it would be nice to have a couple of assistants, like, I mean, if we have the same group like we had this year, it was tough, huh, Mike? It's tough because we didn't have enough kids, and we didn't have enough coaches to be able to have two separate teams, so we lumped each age group together. And even if we had a couple of extra kids, that would be like, I mean, they would be the technical assistant coach, but to be able to herd the kids around to, you know, make sure that they're paying attention to the coach and,
So maybe that's something you could put on the Facebook page too, looking for coaches and assistant coaches,
Yeah.
if they get coming soccer
Okay.
season. And see what we get. I mean, maybe the parents,
I did that last year, and I think we got one for baseball, and then I begged, borrowed, and stealed for the others. But I have 4 so far. I don't, it's usually like at the last minute, that we get them. And Amanda sent me at the school, there's like 62 kids that are doing, summer program right now. So I have 50, forms, and I've got to have a few more made up. So I'm gonna have her pass those out to the summer school kids the end of the week, because I think that paper form makes a huge difference.
is that, are signups by August 1st?
Yes. And that says it right on the form, and it went out in the email today.
Right.
Wakefield,
So Wakefield, I did reach out to him and I'm just waiting to hear back.
okay. So we're trying to see if we could get some games against Wakefield. We were, like I said, I was hoping for Shapley. Anyone know of any other towns?
Did you want me to
that-
contact Shapley?
No, I already talked to
How
Shapley.
about Line Elementary? Do we do anything with
Well,
Line?
they're Wakefield, aren't they?
No, it's
No.
not. It's what?
Limerick?
It's, Limerick, right? Line Elementary's Limerick? Yeah.
Newfield.
Newfield, West Newfield,
Are they the
Newfield, and
ones that
Limerick.
go to?
Newfield Elementary School.
For soccer through Massabesic? Do they go to Massabesic for high school?
Probably.
Probably, or they go to Sockopee. I don't know if they go to, they
We
might go
could
to
reach out to
Sockopee.
them. We've never reached out to them for, we played them for basketball, but we've never reached out to
Do
them.
they have a rec program?
They have a rec, they had a rec director a couple of years ago.
Was that, did you say that was Lyman or Newfields?
No, that's Line, yeah, it's in Newfield.
In Newfield,
Line
yes.
Elementary. It's
On 11,
Limerick.
11?
But would it be
Yes.
Newfield, would it be Newfield rec you would get a hold of? Because you're not gonna get a hold of the elementary school, are you? Because they don't do
Well,
rec in the
I mean-
elementary school, do they?
Maybe the town hall or the elementary school and
Of
find out.
Newfield,
I don't know if they have a rec department like, Wakefield Rec or anything like that. I mean, there was a woman that was the rec director that was in charge of basketball. I don't think they even had a rec board any longer, because I think they ended up having a paid position. So I don't know if you find that through the town hall or through the school.
are you gonna hold
So-
the, Lyman and Newfield, or just Newfield?
I'm gonna reach out to Newfield. I'm not gonna reach out to the elementary school
Right.
because it's not rec. That would be through their school.
But they may know the woman's name if it, I
Yeah,
would assume
I'll
it's
reach
through
out
the
to the
town hall.
Newfield rec first, like the
Okay.
town hall.
Yes.
And then if I don't get anywhere, I'll reach out to the school. But then also those surrounding, I mean, Lyman is right there too, you know, the other surrounding smaller towns
Lyman's
that
a
are right
bit
there.
Played, Lebanon, right?
Lebanon.
Yeah, I mean, we
Do
can,
we have to stay in Maine? Can we play right over the border in like Milton?
Wakefield, I'm trying.
well, we did we used to play in Wakefield.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, so that would be, I mean, Milton, you know.
They gave us, I think, 1 or 2 games. The problem with Wakefield is
The parking lot.
the parking lot in Acton. They gave us 1 game in Acton, and that was the one that there were
Yeah.
people lined up
That's why I asked you
everywhere.
about the
So
parking
if
lot.
we were to have separate games, they gave us like 1 Monday that we had back-to-back games, 1 Monday night. I mean, that's one thing that we cannot do is have that amount of people at that.
Are the
parking lot.
games
So
normally on the weekends, or are they usually?
They
during the
do
week?
different, they do during the week and they do it on.
They do, okay.
I think they do their games on the weekend. We did whatever we could get. We did Saturday games with our group, and then we did, weekends. And we had, for the younger groups, I have a feeling we'll have enough to man 2 teams.
For each group?
I'm hoping.
Okay, good.
I mean, in the past, that's what we had, so I don't know
So are we
about the
looking
older
just to
group.
get like the 4th, 5th graders to play other towns, or are we looking for the, you know, I don't know how
I
it's
guess it
divided.
would depend on what they say. I mean, if we can get more, let's see what they say. I mean,
But we're willing to schedule these during the week too, if Newfields and Wakefield says, well, yeah, we can give you a game on Wednesday night. We're okay to do that?
we haven't even said when our game's gonna be.
Okay, fine.
Do we want, first, let's go back, and do we want to do games on Saturdays?
I don't know.
That's what we've done in the
Idea.
past. Practices 1 night a week and then games.
Games on Saturday?
On
I think
Saturday.
I mean, I never played soccer, but I feel like soccer games typically happen Saturday
Yeah.
mornings, is that right? Yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense.
So we'll do our games on
Maybe
Saturdays,
practice.
same, like, we did baseball, we did 9, 10, and like 11, 15. They're hour-long games, right, for soccer?
But I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
If we're not, can't do them back to back at our field, you know, and say Newfield says, I'm not coming there because, you know, you have backpack games, we could probably schedule another game for 1 or 2 in the afternoon too in October, right? If the teams know.
Oh, on a Saturday?
Yeah,
I think so. I don't know, I mean,
I've talked to you guys anyway, but I'm just wondering, because if the parking was a problem, then we're not gonna
Right.
be able to have them play 10 o'clock games if we have another game at 11.
I mean, there were a couple of parents that had a child that was on at 9 o'clock for their game, and then their older child was at the 11 o'clock game, and the kids didn't want to stay to through the 11 o'clock game. Made it kind of difficult for the team, especially having a small team. But I think that's something that when you have multiple kids and you sign your kids up for sports, and once your kids are in different grade groups, they're gonna be all over the place. So I don't see,
But if we
I
had
mean,
to
I think
change
when
the
you
time.
make that commitment to put your kids into sports, you make that commitment for whatever I mean, that's how I feel about it. Yeah, I make that commitment that I'm gonna put my kids in, I'm gonna make my kids play until the end of the season, and, you know, if the game's inconvenient for me at 2 o'clock, well, maybe I don't sign them up next year, but I'm gonna, you know, I mean,
No, I was just wondering that if like Wakefield or Newfield said, well, yeah, we'll play, but
Yeah,
at 1
that-
o'clock in the afternoon, if we'd say, okay, I'll get
I
back
don't
to you.
see why
obviously.
not.
Okay.
I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think I don't think that can, I don't really have thoughts until there's more information.
That, right,
Yeah,
so
I think
that,
that it just all depends on, I mean, they could be like, yeah, we don't even have anything, we're
Right,
not,
right.
we don't even do a soccer program.
Right, but if they do, and they.
But if they
okay.
do, then they'd
I
be
can
like.
say, okay.
Right, yeah.
and some people like to travel to other towns. Some people don't like to travel the distance.
Yeah.
I mean, there is never a perfect agenda for every single person that's gonna play a rec sport, you know,
Right,
so.
Right,
So I think we try to get whatever we can.
Okay.
And, you know,
that's
just go from
basically all I
there.
want to know.
Okay. Field measurements, someone needs to look into, I mean, I can look into what the actual measurements are for the field.
The next meeting.
Oh, they're at 7. Ooh. I'll look into the field measurements for these age groups. In the past, we had two separate fields, the smaller, to the, if you're looking at the field the long way, next to the baseball field was for the smaller kids, and then we made a field for the bigger kids, further down. That seemed to work out really well, so I think we need two different field measurements, for the age groups.
Okay.
And actually, when you look into Wakefield and the Line School, can you ask them about the field measurements?
I have a
Some
friend that's a
use-
ref, I can ask him too.
But when we play against other teams, we usually play against their rules at their facility. So I would like to make sure we have the same sizes at our facility as what they're using.
If they say yes, then we can.
That way, they don't come and say, oh, these should have been bigger fields or smaller fields or whatnot, or bigger goals and smaller goals or whatnot. So just whatever they use would be, if they have any measurements that they could use, would be awesome. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Are you leaving?
I think that's a uniform.
Thank you for coming, Mike. Any other things for soccer?
We didn't discuss if we were going to have a parent night and if we were going to, what the date was going to be. If you think we can do it on social media and don't need a parent night, you know, I'm okay with that too. Dan was the one who wanted to do the parent night week, so I don't care
I
either
think
way.
if the information's out there, we don't necessarily have to do a parent night, especially, maybe down the line, if we got it all together that we could pass out uniforms and have like a schedule to hand to the parents that night and give them an idea of, as to everything that's gonna happen. I don't think we're there yet. I think it was great for baseball because we needed the cleanup, but I don't know if it's necessary for every sport. I don't know what your thoughts are.
I have no thoughts on that.
Okay. I mean, if Jamie could get the stuff on the social media, that'll be the biggest thing. Awesome.
Maybe we could get
And we can,
Jennifer to advertise the rec page. I know she's gonna advertise swimming, and I should,
that'd be a good idea.
you know, maybe we could say, because maybe we'll have, you know, to use the rec.
On the bulletin board, you mean?
Bulletin board, so
Yeah.
people know there's, if you're saying that people don't know that there's that page, maybe we need to do that.
And in the past, a few times, I took the rec page and, put it on What's Up in Acton and what's the other Acton page, so as a rec member, just, go over, sign in as theirs, and then put whatever information that you have, and I said, you know, go over to the Acton rec page, so people would get more used to going over to the Acton rec page, and put, maybe, can you put a link from like Facebook, from the rec page to like What's Up in Acton, say go to the rec page, and they could go over to that and sign in or something to get more information. That'd be awesome.
I was just thinking that it might be something to think about, not necessarily doing parent nights, but doing like a meet and greet, the rec, but clearly there's not a lot of rec members currently.
Right.
But more or less like an opportunity where we don't have to spend a ton of money, if not anything, to be honest with you. It can be donated or volunteered. But doing like a night where people just come together and play yard games and have like a small bagged lunch and they just meet us and meet each other, and right after maybe like school starts, people are in that groove of like just school and being together with the community, but also gives them opportunities to come and ask questions and not feel obligated, taped, sitting in a town room, you know what I mean? It's just more open, and you're having fun with your families. Kids are, you know, meeting and greeting each other and building friendships, and then they can ask questions if they want to.
I think that was sort of like the baseball.
Yeah.
It was kind of a neat.
But less of like a sport, a specific sport driven one, and more of like an Acton family night.
I think it's a great
Yeah,
idea.
so I did buy a couple of, kickballs.
Yeah.
And we wanted to do like some
Kickball,
kickball games
cornhole,
this
like,
summer,
yeah.
cornhole, I mean, something, yeah, we can do
Volleyball
anything like
mat,
that,
I
as
mean,
long as the
anything.
board agrees that, you know, we want to do that together, we can do whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
You know, that stuff doesn't cost anything, anything that's extra for the kids, the town would love. So, yeah, so if anyone has any ideas of that, and just throw it around, and, yep, I
I
wanted
was
to
like
do some
thinking after
soccer.
open house, but before trunk or treat. That's like a good time for like the Acton rec, like.
Yep.
It's a good time for
Or even,
shine during
yeah.
that time frame.
Even in the summer, because there's really nothing going on in the summertime. I mean, not
True.
necessarily this
My only fear
year,
is that
but,
with vacationing and traveling and stuff like that,
Yeah.
people are less involved
Yes.
at home stuff because they're traveling.
But-
at least now
right.
they can.
Make it like a field day type.
Like a field day type thing, like a family field day.
so, on the budget 2 years ago, we brought back the Acton Pride Day, and we were going, I mean, we had a big budget for that, and John Botel, he was all gung-ho on it, and, I mean, it was gonna be a great, thing up at the field with like all kinds of vendors and whatnot, and unfortunately, COVID happened, but, you know, the rec can get as big as we want it to be or as little as we want it to be, you know, I mean, it all takes volunteers, and if you want to put together a, you know, cornhole game up at the rec field and you want to, you know, you're more than welcome to do that.
Or think about that and then come back with it and
Yeah.
we can all expand.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm just thinking, trying to get volunteers and people to help
Yep.
out in situation, they're not gonna walk in and sit and listen.
Exactly.
That's not how you're gonna get volunteers for anything.
No, I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but alongside with the social media,
yep.
now that people can get out, they remember how it feels to be around other people and.
And I think
It's like-
people are just getting out to do anything. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes.
why not take that opportunity? That's front of mind for people right now.
Look at the Renaissance Fair this week.
It was
I mean,
wild.
They said that it was an, oh, did you?
There was so many cars.
But they were saying it took an hour to get from the
It
trade-in
did.
posts to the Acton Fairgrounds.
At one point it did.
We went through the dirt road.
Oh, yes.
I went over to the other road.
Smart. Yeah, it was very busy. I was really happy for them. And I was happy that the,
Sunday was busy because I went by there and it wasn't busy Sunday, but Saturday was at a nice turn.
yeah.
And it's next weekend also, right?
Right.
So I
for
think,
them.
I mean, if you want to put together a cornhole game or a kickball game or whatnot.
Or do it all.
I mean, and another thing is that we can always open the concession stand, or we can do something, bring your own, I mean, we've got a grill up there now. We have the refrige up there. We could open the concession stand and sell stuff, or we could, you know, bring your own, like you said, a picnic, or, I mean, there's so many options to do. So throw out your ideas. Cool. Closet cleanup day.
So the closet, I don't know if you've seen it, but the closet is in the other building and it's a mess. There's really old uniforms in there, it really needs to go through, and we were thinking if we could get the four of us to do that and go through the baseball bags, because those aren't put together, and kind of do an inventory, and then put an inventory of what needs to be in those bags, and maybe make the soccer bags at the same time, and go through what we have and organize it. So we were looking for an evening, right? Because you said the evening would be best. I have a couple of lights I could bring too. So we were just trying to throw out, I can't do anything until August, but we were looking to maybe throw out some evening that maybe we could all do that.
Yes, evenings are fine. Mondays and Tuesdays work best for me. And not the first Monday of any month because of PTG.
Okay.
But yes, Mondays and Tuesdays just because my husband's off from work, so I don't have to bring the little one with me.
Okay, so that would work, and,
Well, the 9th? Monday or,
what, is that a Tuesday?
no, Monday, 9th or the 10th, Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, so the 9th you could do, because that's not the first Monday. Want to set that up for
Yeah.
August 9th? And what time would we, it's gonna probably take us a couple hours, so you guys with kids, what time would work best for you?
I mean, I can get here 5:30.
I can't do anything earlier than 5:30. just
So
because of
want to
work.
say,
Say 5:30. If we
Yeah.
get here earlier, you and I get here earlier, we get here early. I mean,
okay,
yeah.
that's great.
Works. All right, the 9th at
Then I
5:30.
can clean up my mudroom after that.
Was there anything else for soccer? Anyone else have anything else to add? No? Okay. Anything else anyone wants to add besides soccer? No? Okay, our next meeting is August 16th at 5:30. It's the third Monday of the month. We're gonna try to keep that ongoing. Hopefully it works and there'll be less confusion with the meetings. Other than that, I think we're all set and we can adjourn.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.